Happy Saturday! Modern Mahjong's here with our daily talk of the tiles for May 3rd, 2025. If you're watching this on Instagram, the full video, as well as our entire playlist, is on YouTube. Our channel is Modern Mahjong. Our tile topic of the day is commitment to action, and our tips are about interrupted action. When a player is committed to an action depends on whether they're picking a tile from the wall, calling a discard, or discarding a tile. There's 3 different actions and 3 different ways they're committed. Today, we're discussing National Mahjong League rules, like always. Be sure to check with the tournament director because tournament rules definitely differ on these areas. So when is a player committed to picking a tile from the wall? A player can touch the tile on the wall, but once they move it or lift it, it's theirs. They are committed to taking that tile. Now, we're going to discuss later on that their pick could be interrupted, but they can't change their mind. So there's different points of view. You're committed to the tile. Somebody else can do an action that might interrupt your pick. In many tournaments, usually merely touching the tile on the wall makes a player committed to picking that tile. So just make sure before you roll those Mahjong dice at a tournament, you check that out. When is a player committed to claiming a discard? So you could say call and then never mind. You could say pause, never mind, hold, never mind. You could even pick up that discard and then say never mind. The 2 things you cannot do and then change your mind are either place the discard on the flat top part of your rack or expose tiles from your rack. Once you do either of those, you are committed to calling that discard. We've had other discussions before about how it's really best practices to pick the tile up first from the center of the table, because that way you could avoid having a dead hand if you misheard the tile or if it was named wrong. So a reminder that saying call is not a commitment. You can touch, you can move, you could lift the discard and change your mind. So notice there's a difference already between when you're committed to picking a tile from the wall or when you're committed to claiming a tile. The tile from the wall has not been seen by anyone else yet. The tile that you're calling that discard, everyone's already seen. So as a friend Teresa had said, what's seen stays seen. So that is part of and helpful to think of when you're committed. There's no disadvantage to other players if someone changes their mind before they either put that discard on the flat top part of their rack or expose tiles. So if they just pick up that discard and wave it around, they could put it back down. Once again, NMJL rule, not tournament rule. So be sure before you roll those Mahjong dice that you check with your tournament director. Next up is when am I committed to discarding a tile? So this is the 3rd action. You're committed to discard when you fully name the tile or it touches the table. So this begs the question, what's fully named? A tile is fully named when it's clear what you're intending to discard. So if you just say 7, well, that could be a 7 bam, 7 dot, 7 crack. And if you only say 7 and then see that there's a joker exchange to be made, you did not fully commit yet and you can get that joker. However, you are fully committed if you said 7 dot or if you said something like north, red, flower, joker, because it is clear which tile you are intending to discard when you say any of those names. Kind of like share, one word, you know who it is. So just because you're committed to picking a tile from the wall doesn't mean that tile's yours. So this is our tile tip. If you don't end the window of opportunity to call the prior discard on your turn, your pick can be interrupted. So the window doesn't end by you picking a tile, doesn't end by you waving it in the air, and it definitely doesn't end by you making a noise and tapping that tile on your rack. Tapping is really just a habit that needs to be broken. It does nothing. The league actually included it in Mahjong Made Easy in 2024. Tapping does not end the window to end the prior discard. And while players have told us, but wait, Mahjong is a looking and listening game, this is not the type of looking and listening they're referring to. The window to call the prior discard ends when you either rack the tile, discard the tile by what we just discussed, fully naming it or it touches the table, you initiate a joker exchange, or call Mahjong. So if any of those happen, then the prior discard can't be called. Today's hand of the day, we're going for the big hand. That bottom right corner, flower, flower, a pair of flowers, and then the year in 3 different suits. It is always an exciting hand to try for and to make. But what if the white dragons are out? They're either discarded, they're exposed. What are you going to do? Can you pivot? Is there any hand that you could actually play that uses these tiles? Well, you don't have to just play defensively. You could have a great backup. Look at 2025 number 1. In that hand, you're using the pair of flowers from the other hand. You're using the entire 2025 in one suit. And then you're using pairs of 2s in the other 2 suits. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 overlapping tiles. So knowing this, you don't need to fear going for that singles and pairs hand, because if you can't get the tiles you need, you could always switch to this backup hand. And if you start picking in other 2s or other jokers, there you go. So if you have any daily talk of the tiles ideas, let us know. Offering a backup hand was one that we just got yesterday, and we incorporated it in today's video. So thank you so much for that idea. We finished up our different online Zoom classes. We have several in-person events coming up. If your group would like us to come to you, either virtually or in person, let us know. Send us an email at modernmahjong@gmail.com. And if you play canasta, we can make it New York. We can make it anywhere. We are heading to New York City October 11th and 12th for our Modern American Canasta Convention. Hope you could join us. This is an example of the first page of our PDF. It is available now on modernmahjong.com/products/2025 PDF. It is chock full of 95 pages of strategy, improving your hand, backup hands, a lot of things you need to know in order to answer questions about the 2025 card and hopefully improve your winning. With all of this great information we share, if you just happen to stumble upon this video, make sure you like, comment, save, and share. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you could find us in the future. And with that, we hope you have a great day, a great weekend, and a great game.